Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. Today's objective is to get a hands-on walkthrough on how to unify IT data with powerful integrations and import capabilities in Manage Engine Analytics Plus. Thank you very much for joining. I am Karthikeyan Gunasilan from the product management team and I'm going to be your host for this webinar. Before we begin, here are a few housekeeping notes. By default, all attendees will be on listen only mode. If you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to type them in the chat section or drop them in the Q&A panel on the left side of your screen. I'll try my best to get to them towards the end of the session. In case we run short on time, I'll respond to your questions later via email. You're also welcome to email me your questions directly using the address shown on your screen. With that out of the way, let's get started with the webinar. As you may already know, we recently rolled out Analytics Plus 6.0 and it's easily our most comprehensive update so far. This version is packed with powerful new features and enhancements designed to help you drive deeper, faster, and extract more contextual insights across your IT landscape. One of the highlights of this release is the expansion of our integration ecosystem. We have introduced a host of new out of the box integrations spanning industry leading products from service management, infrastructure monitoring, cybersecurity, asset intelligence, and even FinOps. In short, no matter what part of the IT stack you are managing, there's now a way to bring the data into Analytics Plus and make sense of it. In today's webinar, we'll start by walking you through the full list of integrations that came as part of the 6.0 release. We'll take a closer look at 5 key integrations across the IT stack. We'll explore what kind of data each tool brings into Analytics Plus, and more importantly, the kinds of visualizations, dashboards, and insights you get right out of the box. We'll then walk through a few real world applications to help you understand the kind of problems you can solve by unifying these tools. Things like root cause analysis, proactive maintenance, cost control, and more. After that, we'll switch gears and dive into one of the standout features in the 6.0, the brand new Central Metrics library. I'll show you how this library simplifies KPI creation, promotes consistency, and helps you reuse metrics across multiple reports. Towards the end, we'll quickly skim through some of the other key enhancements, especially in the area of data import, designed to improve performance and scalability. And of course, if you have any questions at any point, feel free to drop them in the chat window. I'll take them up during the Q&A session towards the end. Let's begin by talking about what's new in Analytics Plus 6.0 from an integration standpoint. Starting with IT service management, we have added support for Freshdesk, one of the most widely used service desk platforms in the SaaS world. With this integration, you can analyze tickets, SLAs, technician performance, backlog trends, and a lot more, all with pre-built dashboards and KPIs. IT operations is where we have had the biggest expansion. We now support direct integrations with AppDynamics, Datadog, Dynatrace, SolarWinds, Splunk, OpsRamp, and Nagios. These platforms are leaders in infrastructure monitoring, application performance management, log analytics, and hybrid cloud visibility. And now you can bring data from these sources into Analytics Plus with just a few clicks. You will be able to manage all the metrics, alerts, and events under a single roof. In the cybersecurity space, we have added support for Sentinel-1 and CrowdStrike, two of the most advanced endpoint protection and threat detection platforms out there. This opens the door to new security dashboards in Analytics Plus, where you can track threat timelines, risky devices, malware types, and containment actions. Then we have IT asset management. We now support integrations with both Microsoft Intune and Landsweeper, giving you detailed visibility into your endpoint inventory, compliance, patching status, and software distribution. And finally, on the FinOps front, we have added native connectors for AWS cost and usage reports and Azure pay as you go billing. These integrations lets you analyze spend patterns, detect cost anomalies, and forecast future usage based on historical trends. This makes IT cost control and budgeting much easier and more data driven. So, whether you're managing tickets, tracking infrastructure health, securing endpoints, or optimizing your asset estate, Analytics Plus 6.2 brings all of that into a single pane of glass. And the best part is, Each of these integrations comes with pre-built visualizations, so you don't need to start from zero. Now we'll go deeper into a few of these integrations and we'll look at what data we bring in, how the schema is structured, and the kind of insights that you can get out of the box. Demo workspaces for all the new and the old integrations are available for the public eye in the URL shown on the screen. You can also copy the workspaces to your account and modify them as per your needs. Do check them out if you are interested. Let's start with our first integration, Freshdesk. If you are using Freshdesk to manage your service desk operations, you'll be glad to know that Analytics Plus now includes an out of the box integration for it. This integration pulls in a rich set of data modules that cover your entire ticket lifecycle, agents, requesters, satisfaction surveys, and more. What makes the schema powerful is how it's interconnected. You can link a ticket to the agent who handled it, the group it belonged to, the company that raised it, and the time it took to close, all in a single view. You can also measure metrics like first response time, resolution time, escalation frequency, and even how long a ticket stayed in pending or untouched status. This integration gives you a 360-degree view of your service desk performance and connects the dot between user experience, technician workload, and resolution efficiency. Now that we've seen the kind of data that you can bring in from Freshdesk, let's look at what you can do with it right out of the box. Freshdesk integration comes with a rich set of pre-built dashboards that help you monitor, measure, and manage your help desk operations without needing to build everything from scratch. First up, we have the help desk overview dashboard. This is your command center. It gives you a complete breakdown of incoming ticket volume, resolution time trends, SLA adherence, open ticket status, etc. It includes how many tickets are escalated, overdue, or pending. You can track performance across time, spot seasonal anomalies or service dips, and even use our built-in forecasting models to project how your help desk will perform in the future. Now, let's talk about customer satisfaction. Because at the end of the day, that's what your service desk exists to protect. The customer analytics dashboard gives you a direct view into how your customers feel about the service they are receiving. You can track satisfaction ratings over time, identify which segments or request types are driving negative feedback, and highlight areas that need improvement, whether it's response speed, resolution quality, or communication. Then we have two performance dashboards tracking. These two performance dashboards track the performance of both technicians and groups. These give you a clear view into how your technician and support groups are handling their workloads. You'll see who's resolving tickets faster, who's dealing with the most escalations, and where bottlenecks might be forming. These dashboards help you strike a balance between making sure your high performers aren't getting burned out and that your underperforming technicians have the adequate support and training that they might need. Together, these dashboards offer a complete view of your help desk health, from incoming ticket trends, SLA performance to technician workloads, and customer satisfaction metrics. These reports don't just show you what's happening, they help you spot patterns, optimize team performance, and ultimately deliver better support experiences. Next up, let's talk about our integration with Datadog, which is a powerhouse in infrastructure monitoring and observability. This integration is all about giving you real time performance insights across hosts, metrics, and events, making them actionable through analytics. When you bring these models together, you get a complete overview of your monitored environment. You can correlate events with metric anomalies, analyze which zones or hosts are generating most alerts, and map usage patterns to infrastructure costs or stability concerns. Now that we've covered the Datadog schema, let's talk about the pre-built dashboards that come with this integration and how they help you stay in control of your IT operations. First up is the performance overview dashboard. This dashboard gives you a consolidated view of how your hosts are performing across key infrastructure metrics such as CPU utilization, disk IO, throughput, and more. It's especially useful for spotting patterns like resource saturation, capacity strain, or performance degradation over time. Whether you're tracking a single host or a fleet of hosts, this view helps you understand where attention is needed. Next is the infrastructure overview dashboard. This one focuses on the availability and general performance of your host. It helps you track uptime, monitor resource health, and detect both underperforming and underutilized assets. It supports smarter resource allocation, helping you decide which host to scale down, repurpose, or investigate for deeper issues. And finally, we have the events overview dashboard. This dashboard gives you a real time pulse of everything happening inside your infrastructure of both critical and non critical operational events. You can track where events are concentrated, filter by priority or source, and even map them back to specific hosts or zones. This makes it easy to assess operational health and identify vulnerable environments and perform rapid impact analysis during incidents. And that wraps up our quick walkthrough of the Datadog integration. As you just saw, these out-of-the-box dashboards gives you everything you need to monitor infrastructure performance in real time, from system-level metrics like CPU and memory to event-based alerts and availability views. Moving into cybersecurity, let's take a look at the integration with Sentinel-1, one of the leading endpoint protection platforms out there. This integration brings in an incredibly rich set of data from Sentinel-1 into Analytics Plus, allowing you to monitor threats, analyze vulnerabilities, track agent behavior, and correlate security insights with IT operations or service desk activity. This schema provides deep visibility into your endpoint health, user activity, threat surface, and response workflows. Since everything is time-stamped and relationally connected, it becomes easy to build threat timelines, spot attack patterns, and correlate findings with assets, users, or business services. In short, the Sentinel-1 integration allows your security team to move from reactive to proactive by giving them full analytical control over threat data. Now, let's explore the pre-built dashboards that turn the data into actionable security insights. First up is the threat and risk mitigation dashboard. This dashboard gives you a high level view of your current threat posture, including the average threat score across endpoints, the most affected and the most vulnerable devices, and a CVE matrix that maps risk levels across your asset landscape. You can also track risk posture trends over time. So you're not just reacting to threats, you're also measuring how your security stance is improving or degrading month over month. And of course, you'll see a feed of recent threats, helping you to stay alert and to new incidents as they emerge. Next, we have the threat detection insights dashboard. This one zooms into the active threat layer, giving you a detailed view of all currently active threats, how long they've been active, which applications, agents, or users are affected, and a visual timeline of each threat's evolution across your network. This dashboard is a great tool for incident response teams, especially when they need to quickly triage and prioritize based on dwell time and spread. Finally, we have the production landscape dashboard. This dashboard answers a key question: how secure is my IT environment right now? It highlights risky or vulnerable endpoints, compromised zones or locations, and overall health, endpoint health across your sites. Whether you're doing a routine security review or responding to a live threat, this view helps you focus your response on high risk areas first. As you just saw, this dashboard gives your security teams the clarity they need, whether it's identifying high risk endpoints, tracking active threats, or assessing your overall production landscape. With insights ranging from threat timelines to CV exposure to endpoint health, you are well equipped to take swift and informed action. Now, let's turn our attention to Landsweeper, which is one of the most widely used tools for IT asset discovery and inventory management. This Landsweeper integration in Analytics Plus gives you a detailed real time picture of your hardware, software, users, and vulnerabilities across the organization, all brought into a structure that's ready for reporting and analysis. Whether you are auditing software, identifying unscanned devices, or planning asset refreshes, this schema gives you everything you need and it's ready to plug into Analytics Plus dashboards and visualizations from day one. Now that we've seen the data structure, let's take a look at the pre-built dashboards that make Landsweeper integration truly impactful inside Analytics Plus. First up is the Assets Overview dashboard. This gives you a comprehensive view of your IT inventory, not just a static list, but a dynamic view of how your IT landscape is evolving. You'll see trends in asset additions over time, a breakdown of active versus inactive assets, and insights into asset utilization, helping you spot underused devices that may be candidates for reassignment or decommissioning. It's an excellent dashboard for both operational teams and procurement planning. Next, we have the software overview dashboard. This dashboard visualizes your software inventory across all scanned assets. You can track most installed applications, publisher trends, and key installation metrics like install date distributions, install types, and platform breakdowns. It helps you quickly identify unapproved softwares, unused license applications, or systems that are missing critical installations. And finally, we have the vulnerabilities dashboard. This dashboard pulls data from the vulnerability module in Landsweeper and gives you security focused insights like total vulnerabilities detected, number of vulnerable assets, and a prioritization matrix that helps you evaluate risk based on severity, exploitability, and scope. It's incredibly useful for vulnerability management, helping you zero in on high risk CVs, see which systems are impacted, and plan patching more strategically. So these dashboards gives you a complete visibility into your IT estate, from what you own to what's installed on it to what's putting it at risk. Let's now take a look at the AWS cost and usage integration. And it's an essential tool for anyone managing cloud budgets, usage efficiency, or chargeback models. With this integration, Analytics Plus brings in detailed billing usage and product level metadata directly from your AWS environment. This gives you a unified view of where your money is going and why. Whether you're handling budgeting, compliance, optimization, or showback, this schema gives you the clarity and granularity to make cloud spending more predictable and actionable. Now let's dive into AWS cost and usage dashboards. This is where cost clarity meets optimization potential. We'll start with the infrastructure usage analytics dashboard. This dashboard gives you a high level view of where your cloud budget is going and whether it aligns with usage trends or not. You'll see overall monthly expenditure, top cost driving services like EC2, S3, and RDS, utilization trends over time to identify seasonal surges or unused spikes, and even year over year comparisons, helping you spot budget creep or successful cost saving patterns. This is perfect for CIO reviews or budget planning meetings. Next, we have the cost drains dashboard. This one's a game changer for anyone looking to clean up inefficiencies. Here you can identify underutilized reserved instances, idle elastic IPs that are still incurring charges, and EC2 instances with low usage but high cost, suggesting potential savings from downscaling or termination. It's essentially a spotlight on cloud based showing you where money is being burned even when nothing's running. And finally, we have the savings plan and the reserved instances dashboard. This one gives you visibility into how well your long term commitments are performing. You can track savings plan utilization rates, usage effectiveness, how much of your commitment was actually used, and compare unblended versus effective cost to understand true ROI. There's also a reservation utilization trend view and monthly savings breakdown by usage type and product. So you know exactly how much you are saving and where. So what's especially helpful here is the shared savings visibility, showing you which plans are being used across accounts and where underutilization is hurting your efficiency. Together, these dashboard gives you complete financial control over your AWS spend. Because they are built inside Analytics Plus, you can align them with asset data, service tickets, or infrastructure metrics, giving every stakeholder a shared data backed view of cloud ROI. So far, we have explored some of the major integrations introduced in Analytics Plus 6.0, which covers a large part of today's agenda. But before we wrap up things on the integrations front, I'd argue that we are actually stepping into the most valuable part of this session, the part that speaks directly to your everyday IT challenges. This is where I'll show you how to extract maximum value from every single fragment of data your organization already has. You see, most organizations today are data rich but decision poor. And the core reason, the data that's supposed to empower decision making is often buried under silos. They are split between departments, tools, or teams that rarely talk to each other. Imagine fighting the same battle on multiple fronts. Without a unified strategy, you're going to waste time, burn resources, and more often than not, lose the battle before it even begins. Let's be real here. True analytics isn't just about dashboards and trend charts. It's also about delivering the right insight to the right person at the right time, exactly where they work, so they can take informed and meaningful action. It is also about scaling that ability across the entire organization, regardless of function or platform. To do that, we have to go beyond traditional reporting. We have to break through data silos, eliminate departmental blind spots, outgrow fragmented logic of legacy tools. What's needed here is a deeply unified analytics platform, one that brings together a harmonized data foundation, shared semantic context, and delivers insights both visually and textually across every corner of your IT landscape. That's exactly what Analytics Plus offers. Yes, each integration we've looked at so far, Freshdesk, Datadog, AWS, they're all powerful on their own, but their real power emerges when you bring them together. That's when you break down barriers, unlock correlations that weren't visible before, and finally start making data driven decisions that matter. So, now let's explore a few real world scenarios once your organization has likely faced and see how unified IT analytics breaks through that noise, connects the dots, and guides your team to the right decisions faster. Let's walk through a real world scenario that many IT teams can relate to. A sudden spike in incident volume with no immediately obvious cause. We'll see how unifying data across service management, infrastructure monitoring, and endpoint security helps us zero in on the root cause faster. We'll begin with service desk first. I'm selecting today's date here. And on this incoming incidents by hard chart, you'll notice a sharp spike between 9 and 10 a.m. This isn't just a routine increase. The volume more than double compared to the previous hour. If we drill down by category, We can see that almost all requests are in the category connectivity issue. If we pivot to the incoming request table and select that particular category, we can see that one particular asset immediately stands out. App server 03. Here, almost every single incident raised during that spike, all tagged with symptoms like unable to access application, timeout errors, unresponsive incident, are related to this particular asset. Users have reported slow performance and intermittent connectivity issues, but couldn't determine why. So now we jump over to our operations tab, which consists of visualizations from data. Here, again, I'm selecting today's date and the concerned device name. So we can see here that the CPU usage trend for App Server 03 shows a dramatic climb to over 90% utilization just around 9 to 10 a.m. The memory usage and disk utilization follows a similar pattern, peaking close to 90% at roughly the same time. At this point, we know something is seriously wrong at the system level, but what triggered it? Now, let's layer into the Sentinel-1 data to see if this correlates with any security related issue. Looking at the threats timeline, we see something critical at 9:07 a.m. Sentinel-1 has detected emoted malware running on App Server 03. This wasn't just a dormant threat. The confidence level here is marked as malicious. So let's check the activities timeline. I'm selecting all the activities recorded between 9 and 10 a.m. So we can see here a few minutes earlier, Sentinel-1's activities log flagged a suspicious USB activity in an asset. The same activity might be what started consuming CPU and memory and eventually destabilizing the database connection and network devices. What started as a simple infrastructure issue now clearly has its roots in a security breach. By correlating incident tickets in service desk task, system metrics and events in Datadog, and threat intelligence from Sentinel-1, we have connected the dots in under 5 minutes. Instead of triaging tickets blindly, IT teams now have a full incident storyline. A malware infection triggered by an unauthorized process that consumed critical server resources and led to a flood of user reported outages. This is the power of unified IT analytics. Not just surface level monitoring, but cross domain insights that cut through the noise and lead you straight to the root cause. And just imagine what this means in practice: faster MTTR, reduced escalations, and better collaboration between your NOC, SOC, and helpdesk teams. That's the kind of value you unlock when you break down data silos, and that's exactly what Analytics Plus is designed to do. Let's now take a look at the second use case, one that hits close to home for a lot of IT teams and finance departments: budgeting based on actual asset utilization. Across most organizations, IT budgets are constantly under pressure. Teams are being asked to do more with less, to optimize their cloud usage, avoid unnecessary license spends, and retire aging infrastructure. But here's the problem: without the right data, you're just guessing in the dark. So, how do you make informed budget decisions? Let me show you what that looks like in Analytics Plus using Landsweeper, AWS, and Service Desk Plus integrations all stitched together. We'll start with the asset inventory from Landsweeper. Here, you can see a list of machines, workstations, VMs, EC2 instances, RDS instances, etc., along with the last login activity. And right away, we see several devices haven't logged any user activity in over 30 days. Certain softwares were installed on these machines, but hasn't been opened in months. Now, that might be okay unless you're paying for those licenses. So it gets more interesting when you add in the AWS cost data. Let's look at this report here. Spends on unused cloud infrastructure. So let's adjust the last access time at the top. And we see some EC2 and RDS instances still running, still consuming compute time, and racking up over $4,000 this month alone. But based on our asset data, those instances hasn't been accessed or updated in over 30 days. And when we cross check in Service Desk Plus, we can see that there have been no tickets or support interactions related to that asset since May. So, what are we really looking at here? A cloud hosted asset that hasn't been touched over a month, isn't being supported, still costing the organization nearly $4,000 a year. Now, multiply that by 10 or 50 such assets across departments. You're staring at tens of thousands in waste. This is where unified analytics shines. Instead of managing cloud cost, endpoint usage, and asset health in separate tools, we are bringing them together into one intelligent dashboard. You can now flag underused assets automatically, match usage to spend, reclaim unused licenses, and make data backed decisions about which assets to refresh, repurpose, or retire. What's the business value here? Better IT budgeting, less cloud waste, more efficient hardware lifecycle management, and a stronger alignment between IT utilization and IT investment. And you didn't need to guess. All it took was connecting three systems that you already use: Landsweeper, AWS, Service Desk Plus through Analytics Plus. That's the power of unified IT analytics. Now, while unified analytics may helps you connect the dots between past incidents, there's an even more powerful shift happening: the move towards proactive analytics. With Analytics Plus, you don't have to wait for tickets to pile up or users to complain. You can act before incidents even occur. Let me give you a few examples. Imagine being able to thwart impending network traffic congestion, not after it affects performance, but while it's just starting to build. By continuously monitoring quality of service indicators, latency spikes, and unexpected traffic flows, you can spot and resolve issues before they trigger alerts. Consider cybersecurity. Instead of reacting to breach reports, you could catch anomalous data flows, lateral movements, or privilege misuse the moment they begin. That's the level of foresight unified analytics makes possible. With data flowing in from your service desk, infrastructure tools, cloud environment, and security system, you now have the foundation for predictive, context aware monitoring. In short, your data is no longer just recording the past, it's helping you anticipate the future, and with Analytics Plus, it's doing so without silos and without friction. This is what it means to evolve from reactive firefighting to proactive IT leadership. And that's exactly where Analytics Plus is taking you. So, as you've seen through these scenarios, unified IT analytics isn't just about putting charts side by side. It's about breaking down the operational silos that have long plagued IT decision making. Whether it's your service desk, monitoring stack, endpoint environment, security posture, or cloud infrastructure, these systems were never meant to operate in isolation. And yet, in most organizations, that's exactly what's happening. You have fragmented data sets, duplicated metrics, and disconnected insights, which means every team sees just a slice of the truth. No one sees the actual whole picture. That's where Analytics Plus steps in. It lets you normalize, align, and correlate data from across your IT ecosystem. So you can pinpoint root causes faster, track cost to performance ratios, identify shadow assets and risk clusters, and enable true cross domain visibility. More importantly, it enables context aware analytics, where a ticket isn't just a record, but part of a performance incident linked to a vulnerability tied to a misused resource. With pre built connectors, ready to use dashboards, and seamless joins between structured data, Analytics Plus helps you move from reactive operations to predictive data driven IT strategy. And that brings us to one of the core pillars that makes all of this possible, the unified metrics library, a game changing addition in Analytics Plus 6.0 that standardizes how metrics are created, shared, and reused across your entire analytics landscape. To access it, just head over to the left navigation pane in Analytics Plus and click on Data. At the bottom, you'll see a new section labeled Unified Metrics Library. This is your single source of truth for all calculated metrics across your IT landscape. Think of it as a central catalog. It lets you manage, standardize, and search through every metric being used in your reports and dashboards, regardless of the data source it came from. Whether it's first response time from Service Desk Plus, CPU utilization from Datadog, or monthly EC2 cost from AWS, they all live here in one place. So, why this central metrics library is a big deal? Let's talk about what happens in most environments today. Every team builds their own reports. Someone from help desk calculates SLA compliance one way, while someone in infrastructure defines uptime with a completely different formula. The finance team tracks EC2 cost with their own logic. And over time, these inconsistent KPIs lead to conflicting dashboards, misaligned decisions, and honestly, just a lot of wasted effort. With the central metrics library, all of that changes. Here are some real world benefits. You define a metric, say mean time to resolution, once in a library. From that point on, anyone building reports or dashboards uses the same logic, the same calculation, and the same source. No duplication, no interpretation differences. Reusability. You don't have to build formulas for each integration. A metric created for Datadog CPU thresholds can be used in hybrid dashboards that blend data from Service Desk Plus or AWS, saving hours of redundant configuration work. Faster onboarding for new users. New users or teams joining your workspace can browse the metric library, understand definitions, and start building with confidence without needing to reverse engineer someone else's formula. Metric governance and version control. You can control who creates or edit metrics, apply naming conventions, and even document assumptions, ensuring that metrics stay clean, traceable, and audit ready. Semantic alignment. When someone says availability percentage or high priority incident volume, they mean the same thing whether they are in an ITOps dashboard or in a CISO review deck. So, what you get is a shared language of KPIs, one that spans departments, tools, and reporting layers. That's what transforms your analytics platform from a reporting engine into a strategic IT intelligence layer. Let's now talk about one of the most practical and powerful areas we have enhanced in the Analytics Plus 6.0, data import and synchronization. For large enterprises handling millions of rows of operational data, the import experience has to be fast, flexible, and fault tolerant. And that's exactly what this upgrade delivers. We have introduced import rollback feature, which is a lifesaver in collaborative environments. If a sync brings in bad data, say due to a schema mismatch or upstream issue, you can revert the table back to its previous state without losing your calculated columns, formulas, or formatting. Rollback can be triggered within 4 hours of the last import. In order to do that, just open the table, go to import data, last import details and hit rollback here. You will see a complete audit trail who triggered the rollback, when, and exact version restored. This means no more manual re-imports, no more risk of overwriting clean data, and less disruption for your users. Now you can set multiple frequencies for different tables within the same data source. Let's say your incident ticket data needs to be synced every hour, but your CMDB needs updates only once a day. No problem. Analytics Plus lets you tailor sync intervals based on the freshness needs of each dataset. To do this, open your workspace and head to Data Sources, choose Sync Settings, and then click on Multiple Sync Intervals. You can just select the table and configure a different sync interval for that particular table alone. It's a very simple but powerful way to ensure real-time metrics stay fresh while less critical data doesn't hog sync cycles. And finally, we have added incremental fetch for databases. In many IT systems, you are only dealing with new records or updates like new tickets, log entries, or transaction logs. With incremental fetch, you can now import only what's changed instead of reloading the full dataset every time. To enable it, all you need is a primary key column like a timestamp or an ID column to track what's new. You can choose sync method. You can choose either append only or replace if exist. This drastically reduces import times and ensures faster delivery of insights, especially for large or frequently changing datasets. At the moment, this incremental fetch is supported only for database connectors, but more sources will be supported in the upcoming releases. That brings us to the end of today's session. Let's quickly recap everything we have explored so far. We started with a quick overview of Analytics Plus 6.0, the most feature-rich release to date, designed to help IT teams make faster, smarter, and data-driven decisions. We then walked through a few out-of-the-box integrations, covering key tools across ITSM, ITOps, cybersecurity, inventory management, and FinOps. For each integration, we looked at the schema, imported data, and ready-made dashboards and insights they unlock. We then explored the power of unified IT analytics with real-world scenarios that demonstrated how correlating data across domains leads to faster root cause analysis, proactive IT operations, and more informed budgeting decisions. Next, we introduced the Central Metrics Library, your single source of truth for KPIs, built for consistency, reusability, and governance across your entire workspace. And finally, we wrapped up with a look at the latest import upgrades. We checked import rollback for safer collaboration. We checked flexible sync schedules per table in the same data source and incremental fetch for faster real-time insights from transactional data. We hope this session gives you a clear picture of how Analytics Plus 6.0 can elevate your IT analytics strategy. And with that, we have come to the end of today's session. What we covered today is really just the tip of the iceberg. Analytics Plus brings you a wealth of new capabilities, from expanded integrations to smarter data handling, but there's a lot more waiting to be explored. Beyond what we've seen today, Analytics Plus also offers a full suite of AI and ML features that can be seamlessly plugged into your everyday IT operations, whether it's predicting downtime, detecting anomalies, or generating insights through your natural language. You now have the tools to move from reactive troubleshooting to intelligent proactive decision making. If you are looking to unify your IT data, drive automation, and elevate your analytics game, this is your platform. You don't have to wait any longer. You can access our 15-day trial using the link provided on the screen. I see some questions in the chat window, but due to time constraints, I don't think we can take up the questions now. But I will reach out to each and every one of you through email and answer your questions. If you got any questions, please feel free to email me directly. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. Have a nice day.